I'll just put my name up there,
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Oh my gosh, we're just
just so
goofing
I
off.
know who I am.
Just
In
we're
case you
just
forget
goofing off
who we're
right now.
talking about when we ask, just like,
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Oh my gosh. Oh Lord. So let me just pull up the just in case I have to refer anything to my mastermind, and I'll pull it up
mm,
accordingly, refer to it and show it on screen if I need to. It's like, yeah, this is what I was actually trying to go for, but I mean, it is what it is.
wow, this was almost a year-long campaign.
Yeah, it really
Yeah.
was 30 episodes, and only because it's like we had like people out. It's like, it's like we
Mhm.
didn't play for certain weeks and
Mhm.
everything like that. So it it really was almost a year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we started what, in March or something?
March
Mhm.
30th.
There we go.
Oh,
Wow.
okay. 11 months then. Nice.
So yeah, this is the Between Secrets in Lavender, episode 30, because this is a season retrospective that I've never done before. Like, the demand for this seems to be because the players wanted to finish out their masks, whatever masks were outstanding, and
Mhm.
also to like review the season, especially because it was a play test of my
Mhm.
mastermind and the associated threat and any feedback that they had for me. Plus, we were also working with the new Between rules that will be rolling out fairly soon. As far as I know, there's even a companion app that's coming out for the new Between, which
Mm.
just rolled out yesterday, which I was like, I didn't even know that was happening. So I'm like, okay, well, we'll give it a shot and see how that goes. Yeah. So, however we wanted to start, I know there were some things, obviously some housekeeping stuff from the game that you guys wanted to do. So, I mean, any outstanding masks that you wanted to get through for each of your characters, just pull up the prompt, say what the prompt is, and then narrate your mask to
Mhm.
finish it off, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, whoever wants to go first. I have honestly
I
not been tracking like, who's
Mhm.
left, because I know there's people that have used mask and we had to bump up one of the
Mhm.
questions because it's like nobody wanted to go with the fail,
no, no,
which
Mhm.
like it's just that like for my masks, narrate a flashback that shows why you started to become jealous of the person
Mhm.
you fell in love with, and narrate a flashback where you finally destroyed that person. We
Mhm.
kind of covered that in fiction with the like, hold on, this whole thing is your fault. Like,
yes, yes, you got it, did.
Well, nice.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted, like, if there's anything that you forgot to go over when you did,
no, no, and
no,
revealing it in fiction was fun. So,
yeah, that was
Mhm.
that was a lot of fun. Oh my gosh, amazing.
That was
Ellie
Like,
was
great.
really cheesed about that.
yeah, no, no, no. What? Well,
Sort
putting
of
it
in the
wait,
mildly.
middle
wait,
of
wait, wait, wait,
everything,
wait, wait,
but
wait, wait. Like, before we get into more of like about the season and the story, it's like let's get
Okay,
into
all
everybody
right.
else's mask because that's full of that's full of a lot of weight. It's like we got some shit against Felix this
Mhm.
season. So, anybody got any masks that they have to narrate still?
Two.
Okay. All right.
two also.
All right.
You want to start or?
I can start, yeah.
Okay. Start.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Let me find the prompt though. Narrate a flashback to your young adulthood that shows part of your initiation into the coven. Name the coven. I've named the coven before.
Yes.
I find it weird that that
Long
comes so
says.
late, actually, because at that point you probably have talked about the coven a bit. Anyway, so
Okay. Well, let me just
yeah.
clarify that for a second because I mean, like, in the first original rules, it's like we were supposed to be so secretive. We would not talk about like, our
Mhm.
story, like even outside
Mhm.
of the game and all this kind of
Yeah.
stuff. I mean, even like the factotum couldn't really talk about like, their original history with their employer like
Mhm.
outside of the story,
Mhm.
and it was so sacrosanct that you never did it. And then it's
Mhm.
like, here's me who's like, oh, I don't follow rules. It's like, talk about
Mhm.
whatever the hell you want. I mean, it's fine. So
Mhm.
we broke a lot of things in this particular series, so it's not a surprise that things came up when they came up because I was
But
okay
you
with it.
Well,
get
also the
you get
coven
to you
threat.
yeah, you
Yeah,
get to put the coven into play. I
right,
feel that you
early.
should have named it. You should have named it. Be able
I
to name it there. It
da
would
da
be
ba da da
weird,
da da ba da.
you
Da.
know.
I know, it's weird. It's weird. Yeah,
it's a bit weird, yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, I can do
yeah.
that though. I will not name it in the flashback because you all know it's called the Order of Saint Sylvester, or if you don't, you probably
No.
remember that now.
Yes.
Okay, so narrate the flashback. Okay, this is in London, not in London, but it is in a fancy location. It's a ball or a party or something, like rich people hanging around, having canapes and drinking wine and talking about politics or feelings or both. And you see young Gabriel. He is not a teenager anymore, young adulthood. He's standing around, he's having a glass of wine in his hand, contemplating the color or whatever. And he's watched, and we've seen this character before briefly, even though it wasn't this exact person. This is Eros, the Greek Cupid. And he has a little bow and he has a little arrow, and he's watching Gabriel being standoffish, look at his wine. You can see his face like, yay, I got this guy. I'm gonna get this guy good. And he aims his little bow and he shoots the arrow. And this is when Gabriel turns and one of the entities catches the arrow. But it looks, to the viewer who can't see the entities, it looks like Gabriel snatched the arrow out of thin air and looks at Eros with this smirk in his face like, yeah, I got you. And then we see Raphael behind Eros putting a heavy hand on the young girl's shoulder. And there's some binding happening there. You can see it in the magic glow that surrounds Eros, and in Eros's panicked facial expression. Gabriel walks over and Raphael says, well done, brother Gabriel. Prepare for your initiation after we've dealt with this.
Very nice. I'm going to actually do my two masks at once, because they're about the same incident. Narrate a flashback to the time when the quickening curse caused you to hurt someone you care about. Narrate a flashback showing the incident that caused you to go on the run. So we see a snug little cabin. Small and a bit Spartan, but there are touches that show that this is very much a home. Cozy blankets, the two tin mugs sitting ready for the pot that's on the wood stove. And two people who by now we've seen both of. We see the red hair and beard and mustache of Nate, and the dark curls of Cora, who we've seen in one flashback when Ellie was caught up in mean times. And they're sitting and not chatting a whole lot, but she's knitting. He's repairing some small piece of tack, some bridle or something. Late afternoon sun slanting in through the windows. And there's an almost tentative knock on the door. Each other. Nate gets up, goes to the door, and it's Ellie. She looks awful. She's been on the run, and out in the wilderness, and her clothes are worn and grubby. She's lost a little weight. There's terrible hollows under her eyes. And she looks almost poised to run as she says, I'm home. Nate flings his arms around her. Cora, who has bolted up out of her chair at the sound of Ellie's voice, runs. They all hug. And we see a montage of the next little while as Ellie explains. She'd told a little in her letter, the one letter she sent them, about the curse, but now she's explaining the whole thing and how she's, you know, she's got it under control now. She's able to decide whether she changes. She's uh evenings are a little rough, but she's got it. And after they all kiss and cuddle for a little while, Nate says, "This calls for celebration. I'm gonna go down to the saloon, get us a bottle of whiskey." He leaves, and Ellie and Cora are chatting, snuggling some more. And then Ellie, as the sun sinks further, shudders, and her eyes flash green. She says, "This was a mistake. I shouldn't have come back. I have to go." Cora, not understanding, is horrified. "You just got here. You just got back. You can't go now." Ellie tries to rise to leave frantically. Cora's arms tighten around her. Ellie violently breaks free, heads for the door. Cora follows her, grabs at her, and Ellie, faster than we've ever seen her change, leaps and is a cat by the time she lands and swipes. We don't see what happens. We cut to the outside of the cabin, but there's a scream that is horribly cut off. And then a great gray cat bounding out the cabin door, bloody.
So I hardly think I can top that from the emotional weight here, honestly. But I think I need to read the prompt, right? Narrate a flashback to when you finally destroyed the. No, that's not me. That's Felix. I'm not. That's not me. Sorry. Narrate a flashback to an event that influenced you to leave the coven for good. Well, okay, so we see a circle of people. They are wearing hooded robes. These robes are stitched with mystical symbols. This is clearly a magic circle of 7 people. This is also the Order of Sylvester, so you can see some Christian symbology among this. In the middle of the circle is a woman. She looks human. She looks perfectly human, Greek maybe. And her face is made for laughter. You look at her and you expect, even though she looks frightened, she doesn't want to be here. She might even be hurt, but if you look at her face, you'll expect her to say something funny, to say something witty. It's that kind of face. But she's frightened. She's bound inside of them, in the middle of the circle. And there's a chant going on. One person starts, the second, the third, the sixth is Raphael. You can recognize his voice anywhere. And he chants with this firmness, this conviction of his purpose that he is right in what he is doing. The 7th, however, takes off the hood, and it is Gabriel. Looks at the woman, looks at Raphael, shakes his head. No. And then he smudges the circle, steps back, and the woman vanishes. It's just gone. Raphael turns on him. We had her. We had the monster. And Gabriel says, she was a muse. She was not a monster. She was unnatural, an unnatural thing. Yes, but so am I, Raphael. So are you. We are all of us unnatural what we do. What is natural about this? She is harming humankind. Your words have no value anymore, Brother Gabriel. Go to your room. Prepare for your punishment. You can see Gabriel getting this expression that is angry, but also closed off. And he turns around and walks to his room. And you can see, as he stitches the robes, these are the same clothes that he wore when he was creating the doll.
Amazing.
Go to your room.
Oh my! And you thought like it's not enough emotional. Wait, are you kidding? What?
No, I could totally see why Mordecai's like, no, I'm good. I'm done.
I'm done. Oh my god.
Out. Nope. Bye.
Bye. See ya. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Oh crap. Amazing. Oh, these characters. Holy crap. Oh, and yeah, I mean, if you wanted to do any kind of like epilogue type of things involving your characters or your side characters that you were very interested in or had an affinity to, then please feel free. I mean, I will say that, well, go through with your epilogues first, because there's a little bit part of the plan that was not mentioned after Mrs. Pemberton-Potts was killed that we didn't have time for. I had to squish like our time into what it turned out to for that last video. So like, yeah, I mean, we ran out of time. So I mean, yeah, I'll put it here after I hear what you guys have.
I think, Sabine, you said you wanted to do your epilogue after mine. Okay.
I mean, I would like to do one for Nora, which is independent of this, and I would also do one for Mordecai, and that should happen after Felix's.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, feel free, like, you whatever you guys have come up with, I am perfectly happy to hear them. And then, like I said, I have a wrap up for something else that Mrs. Pemberton-Potts had.
Kathleen, do you want to do Ellie's first?
Yeah. It's not so much there's much for Ellie. Running through the forest. Meeting up with Nate. And I think they fight. But it's kind of a half-hearted fight. She does not want to fight him unless forced. And the wildness of their curses is calling to each other. He said he didn't hear the growling anymore, but that clearly meant that he didn't feel overmastered, because as soon as he catches sight of her running as a cat, he's running as a wolf.
But this wolf is different, because the wolf, instead of a full fur, like his ruff is actually made of flowers.
That makes sense. But they fight for a bit until they're both somewhat bloodied and panting exhausted on the leaf litter. And that's when they turn back briefly. And are we dead? Says Ellie. Is this what comes after? Dunno. says Nate. I think maybe we are. And if so, maybe Cora's here somewhere. And without further words, they change and run again, looking. My only other epilogue-ish sort of thing is that I'm pretty sure that Lansing moves into Hargrave House as one of the next generation of hunters. Partly because he knows now just how bad the stuff out there can be, and partly because he has no idea what the hell else to do with himself at this point.
Depends. Like, how does he come out of the forest? When last we saw, it's like the branches were encroaching.
That's true. That's true. I think
I mean, I have some ideas, but I mean, like,
if you have ideas, I hadn't really done more than
Felix.
consider.
I didn't know whether you
Yeah,
had any. I didn't know whether you had an idea, Felix, because
I have I have two ideas.
go ahead.
One, uh, he becomes the new American, and the forest curse is just like his curse. Like he just becomes this big something warped and pulling in the forest. But if that's not satisfying, uh, he died. Like he just died from it, but came back, like as part of the boon with the death shroud. Like as long as he keeps himself bound, he continues. He's sustained.
I like the latter one. That the tying the death shroud into it
Yeah,
is good.
yeah. I mean, that is definitely a combination of the two. I mean, I would definitely say that that is a good combination of the death shroud, uh, help, as well as, like, the possibility of him continuing on as something more than what he was. He is no longer, a vanilla human. Oh, hell no. For sure not. But I didn't know whether you had something in particular for Felix, because it's like,
Oh yeah.
I can bounce off of that to give Lansing a continuation for an epilogue.
Oh.
But
Um,
I want to hear, like, what you have for Felix.
we're not going to see Felix in this epilogue.
Okay.
Felix Felix is gone. He accomplished his mission and he's settled. But instead we're going to focus on, you said that Lansing went back to Hargrave House. We follow him for a little bit with his routine, but then the camera pans out from Hargrave House to a carriage across the road. And it's who else? Special Inspector Short in a carriage, speaking with some people who are keeping an eye on Hargrave House. He says that he has to go to a meeting, dismisses himself, and takes a ride by the shore and picks up a sailor who's recently been promoted to a higher station, James Allardyce. And they make small talk about shipments, equipment being brought in, bribery and the sort. And they stop by the exterior is worn down, but the dog and whistle sign is all the same. Inside, it's warm and loud and raucous, and all the sailors who are gambling and the like don't really pay much mind to these men who don't fit in. They go behind the counter, they go to a back room, they go to a large wooden door inscribed in runes, similar to something that we saw in Hargrave House, and it leads to the underground, to old pathways, winding, curving, dark hallways. And it leads to the crossroads, that hidden underground tavern where all of Felix's followers resided. And it's not as celebratory as it was before. There was a large fire, roasting game, mead. It too was a gambling hall, but now instead of competitions and stories, there's serious discussion of business, of the odd matters going on about Hargrave or about London. And we see that though they're not wearing the same uniform as Felix's worshippers, they all have a badge on them, agate. And Special Inspector Short and James Allardyce go to a back room where Lady Winifred Wheatley Gainsworth is speaking with Tabitha Crowley and Jenny Johnston, two pillars of the community, though of different tiers, providing information, providing funds. They greet the two gentlemen who enter. Jenny and James speak for a bit about shipments, about smuggling, about new sailors coming into town who might be useful to his operations. And then Lady Winifred calls to order. They discuss new threats that are going about. That there is still an angel that has not been dealt with, that there is still the oddities of a play that wanders to and fro in the shadows, and how they are going to address it. They are no longer associated with Scotland Yard. They are no longer officially supported by Her Majesty. Yet all the same, they know too much. And when the call comes to an agent of agate, things go their way bit by bit. Things just happen to fall the right way. It's not a guarantee, of course, just an opportunity to make a difference in London. And as they continue to discuss the bigger picture things, the major threats, and how they're going to continue to supply themselves without that official support, we leave that office and go to that center room. We look upon the masterwork, and we see it covered in spiders, covered in silk, threads in this tapestry being pulled apart, damage being undone, the faces being made unrecognizable, including that gentleman in the center. Felix himself has been cut out of the masterwork, but it seems as though they're adding someone new into it. A new face, a new skin, in case he should return. And in the corner, as was promised, there is a silver-headed cane waiting for someone to return for it. That's it. We don't get to see Felix. I don't know how he's doing. Like, Mads, do you want to go or Sabine?
I can go. I will start with Nora and Magnuson because I think they stayed in Hargrave House, continued the work, I guess, or maybe continued some other kind of work, honestly, because I think they might have gotten Serapio to be with them. But what we see is when Nora goes out, and there is more confidence in her step, at last. She goes and waters her plants, and then she goes to the little forest that is still there, right? It is still flourishing, it is still fine. And there, next to the forest, is the doll, the Gabriel doll. And Nora looks at it like, what am I supposed to do with you now? And the Gabriel doll is like, you could get me a real body, That would be really appreciated. And Nora starts to think. And I think we'll close the door on those two there. Maybe they'll run across agate in a not so nice fashion in the future. And on the other hand, this is someplace very far away, both in time and in space. It is an old place, a place almost forgotten by the humans who were originally tied to it. It is on a mountain. There are structures there, very fine structures, fit for gods, which is not very surprising because this is the home of the Olympian gods. And there is a road that goes there, and a traveler on the road, a man carrying a cane, coming up, and I think he will be met by another traveler. I think it's Hermes, maybe, who's like, who are you to come here? You are clearly not quite mortal, but you are not one of us. And Traveler says, I'm looking for someone I knew a long time ago, a very long time ago. And he turns and you can see it. The body is like somebody tried to recreate Mordecai from memory. It's not quite there. It's not quite right. The skin is not quite as pale. The hair has turned to white. The eye is real. The gray eye, they are both gray now. No, wait, they are not both. One is gold, the other is gray. These are as you would remember them. And Hermes says, you can't just come here and go looking for some friend or other. And the figure tilts their head and says, well, I do hold a boon from Apollo, though. Will that get me in? We'll finish there.
Oh my God, amazing. And, some legends will say it's like, at one point Apollo and Hermes were like boon buds at some point. So it's like, of course, that should get you in, sure. It's like, I gotta see like my old roommate, it's like, it's all cool. But, all right, so, I got a few minor epilogues. I think Lansing will make his way. I think Felix, I think you may have murmured something to Lansing in his like pain-filled escape, and then like he kind of like drew the shroud over himself, and like that sustained him as he made his way back. He doesn't remember how. He doesn't know like where he went, but he managed to make it back to Hargrave House, back through the portal, and he met up with Nora again, and she, along with Maglasang, was able to see that he sustained himself somehow, and the shroud was kind of like staving off some of the effects of the forest. But just like an American's curse, it's like every evening he's got to stave off some kind of quickening, and he does have some sort of abilities beyond human. And as she well knows, it's like he knows too much, and he's got nowhere else to go. And he doesn't think that he would fit in well with Agate, and especially because he also doesn't know like what is left of Agate to be able to belong to. And he wants to stay with Hargrave House and then see what he can help make of it. Especially because, like, Maglasang is also taking a look at his, issue and saying, my family has dealt with this before, and I can at least also help with keeping it at bay for as long as we can. But the forest will always be with you, and it will come for you at some point. And, I think after they make the agreement of, like, sticking around and then, making something of Hargrave House, as it will, I think Lansing will take your room, Ellie. And then, kind of move in what little he has, and then, like, keep something, stuff of yours. Like, if you gave him a gun, if you gave him a knife, like, he'll keep those. But then he'll store the rest of store whatever you have not brought with you. He'll store it in the basement. And then leave it for other hunters to find. But, yep. Oh, and then, yes, Nora had found Mordecai's letter, and if you had seen the last episode, then you'll notice that I had also made the letter into a slide on its own, so people can read it and see what it says. So, yeah. And, Nora's, like, will also get Maglasang's help in, like, taking care of that stuff as well. So, yep. And we'll also find the books, the spells, and all that kind of stuff. So maybe she will help the Gabriel doll. I think she's gonna give the Gabriel doll, like, his own room. So as they figure out what they're planning on doing. So, maybe he even gets his own lab. Wonder what that means for the future. And I think, as another epilogue, there was a manor house far in the distance in the forest. After Mrs. Pemberton-Potts was killed, Mr. Thomas Shearer Cole had faded away, and the forest seemed to recede, like where it seemed like it was going to come into London. Then the effects of it, the storm, the vines, the branching, encroaching fog was starting to recede into the night, and then dawn was starting to float in. But there is a familiar, nervous, squirrely figure kind of on the street corner, like running away from Belgrave Square, and he seems to have a canister with him. And he seems to be mumbling to himself as he's making his way away from Belgrave Square, and will make his way to parts unknown. Saying to himself as he's huddling the canister into, well, we weren't able to bring the gas and release its effects into the fog, but I can get this sample into the nobles' quarters. I just have to find a patron to bring it into the RAC and continue her work. Yes, that's what I need to do. I'll find a patron. Yes, I can do that. Yes, I'll get back to a lab. Yes, I can totally do that. Yes. As he disappears into the morning fog, and we see Dr. Charles face another day in London.
So you're just like setting up for season 2 of Secrets in Lavender,
Look
right?
now, look now. I mean, you took care of her, but she did have other plans. She's a mastermind. So yes, of course. Why else did she have Dr. Charles? You forgot about Dr. Charles. Anyway, it's fine.
We
It's
had
cool.
way too much to deal with. All right.
Look,
We were
you had your
having
personal
one
problems. It's
apocalypse.
okay. You had your personal problems. I get you. I mean, I was totally about like making sure that you wrapped up what you wanted to wrap up. Forget about the actual thread. It's okay. It's all right.
We had feelings, okay? And we
I
needed to deal
know,
with
and I
them,
loved your
okay?
feelings. Believe me. I mean, but this is honestly the first time that I've actually had like a mastermind, and it's also my fault too because it's like my mastermind. So of course, where I was like, they didn't actually deal with like the thing that she was planning on taking care of, So I just love that. It's great. It's great. It's fine.
Hey, do we really care about the Royal
No,
Explorers
you
Club?
don't.
Like, no, none of us do.
No,
Like,
no,
No,
not
no,
really, no.
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 But I mean, like, the long range plan, of course, was to like, through the Royal Explorers Club, it's like, affect the rest of London. But anyway, it's cool. It's cool. She don't care.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
we
it's
care
all
about
Felix.
London. The REC,
No,
Yeah.
no.
Okay.
And it's all Felix's fault anyway.
Yeah, it is all Felix's fault.
It,
anyway,
it
when it
did
came down to
not
it.
start out like that. It was just
know.
eventually. It was
It was
like
so good.
I don't.
So good.
Who could Felix even love? That's like this late in the game, like making that relevant. It feels weird. Like if we're gonna start going into
Yeah, let's
like
go into
playbooks and
feedback and discussion about like the whole story and the mastermind and like what you guys thought of like the whole season and rules and I don't know whatever the hell you want to talk about right now. That's fine. Whatever you want to go into.
like on the topic of the undeniable, I was worried about playing the undeniable because every single time I've seen it played, it's been like, I'm the sexiest person in the room. Don't you want to do things for me because I'm hot? Like, and they're just like really like overtly cruel, which I get. Like that's the source material. That's Dorian Gray. But as we were playing through it, like you gave me the leeway to like manipulate people in other ways, which was encouraging.
Yes.
But then there's still like some things about the playbook that are weird, like the fact that the let's talk about this person that you loved that hasn't come up at all in the context of things. Because like Ellie, for talking about the incident that caused you to run, like there's build up to that with the other masks and like the way that you played it out.
Right.
Undeniables don't feel like the sort of people that like, oh, there was the one that got away that I destroyed and he just won't shut up about it. Like,
Let me answer that in a general sense, okay? And this goes across all of playbooks and everything like that. My take on the playbooks / archetypes in the between and what should be happening with the playbooks is that they should be, if they're well written, they should be giving you several pathways to play them, right? And the masks aren't necessarily always going to be giving you like, this is the direction you should like definitely be going in, right? So like the masks are just your countdown of like how long your character can last. Right. It's
Okay.
like they're one way of your character being able to save yourself to like kind of last like as long as you possibly can. But you don't have to use all of the masks because some of those masks may not fit into your character. So like when I played Dr. Noble, and I'm sorry if I keep on bringing up my character, but I mean like
you really like talking about Dr. Noble.
look now, I mean it's the part of the experience, all right?
Yeah.
So there's one mask that I did not feel like fit her character whatsoever, even though I did create a narration for it just in case I had to use it, which is the whole like professional rivalry run. Where I'm like, no, her thing was all about grief and loss. Where the hell is this professional rivalry thing coming from? So if I had to use it because it was the only one left besides the Blood-Soaked Portal, then I would use it, but I didn't feel like it fit her character whatsoever. So
Okay.
if you didn't feel like love thing was going to fit your character, you couldn't make it fit your character and you didn't have to use it, you didn't have to use it. And then same thing for anybody else's, um, uh, uh, masks in their own, um, playbook. Like, for instance,
Hmm.
like with Mordecai, I was kind of like sketchy about like, where like, when you gave me the character concept of like Mordecai is going to be a completely like reason-based being and like not having to do anything with like emotional, sensual things. And I'm like, I've never seen a vessel do that. I'm not sure if that's possible. And you showed me it was possible. And this is why I trust my players. Because it's
Mm.
like my players show me that things are very possible. And I love that about you guys, And like, Kathleen, when you gave me the whole thing about like, oh, here's an old lady that had a criminal past. This is how we base our Brindlewood Bay campaign. Yes. So again, I love trusting my players to give me character concepts that just blow it out of the water. And, Felix, with yours being like, not about being about complete like sexuality, beauty, cruelty, and all this kind of stuff, and then Mordecai not being all about like the sensual, like a complete like blood and guts like cult. I mean, like that was great. I
Mhm.
like I love these character concepts. I mean, it's just and it worked. I was like, oh my god, it worked, and I love these characters, but god damn it, I'm like I'm so sorry to see them go. Anyway, my point being is that when going through these playbooks, it's like you don't have to use everything. I mean, you
Mm.
can if you're trying to save yourself, for whatever. But I mean, there's things built into the game where you got the threat masks, you got like, some of the rewards that could kind of like give you ways of saving yourself or whatever, like the rewards. And then like, you have masks that can kind of work around, you know, helping you out and like making sure that you can, you know, you don't have
Mhm.
to necessarily use them if you don't need to, So, I mean, again, it's like however you conceptualize your character, it's like what you think works, use it, and what you don't think works, either don't use it or work around it. Like figure out a way to interpret it that it still meets the criteria, but it still works within your character concept. So,
Mm.
that's my take on how to do things. And then you
Yeah.
guys hit it out of the park. I love it.
I mean, same thing goes with the dawn questions. I had one of the
Yeah,
dawn
exactly.
questions I couldn't really use for Mordecai.
Right.
That would have
That's
Yeah.
a little bit that's a little bit harder because that's very
Yeah.
very very specific because it's
Yeah.
very much of a it's like very pointed about
Yeah.
like how you're supposed to use it. So
Yeah. Yes, but you don't have to use all
no,
your
you don't have
dawn
to, and that's the thing.
questions.
Yeah, so you don't don't have to use
So I
those.
didn't choose that ever again,
Mhm.
and I only had the one with the dark entities once, just for giggles. And that wasn't actually having sex with them. That was more like this weird community thing
Yeah.
that he did.
Communion, yeah.
That,
I mean, like
that super annoyed Felix, which was fun.
I
Looking
love
back
that.
on that scene, like, could you imagine having a roommate that just occasionally screams?
It wasn't
Like
screaming, it was more a humming. A
Oh,
very
okay.
loud humming.
A very
Still,
loud.
it's like,
Still,
what?
I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm going down to the kitchen for lunch, and my roommate is just standing in the middle of the room, communing with their dark entities.
Look
like,
now.
Yeah,
That
well,
was just
you didn't do it in the kitchen. Come
that
on.
was so
Thank
brilliant. But in the
goodness.
room, right.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
but like unheard. I was just
Yeah.
that was like such a brilliant like character
Yeah.
moment. I was just like, oh
Yeah.
my god. And then like, I had to throw my NPC in there to just like, make it even more awkward. So it was like, okay, good. I was like, I've never had them do that before. Like that sort of thing. So yeah. Add to the awkwardness. It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, continue onward. Trusting you guys to just like, go with your characters and then develop and play to find out, but also to play, develop what you think your characters would do and say and respond within the moments. And then like, again, you're never going to have your backstory develop like right off the bat. You guys were very
Yeah.
organic about like, I think this is how it starts, but never necessarily how it's going to end. And it's fine. And that was great. So, and thank you for giving me the chance to tear out your heartstrings again, Kathleen. Because I mean, damn.
I knew what I was doing when I wrote that backstory, and I said,
Here you go.
"Here you go."
like, I
I
didn't
am
mean to
handing
make
you
it
a
that.
handcrafted dagger to just plunge
Ah,
into my
look
heart
now.
and twist.
I
Here.
honestly didn't mean to make it that
Oh
heavy
no,
duty, but
it
oh,
was. Yeah.
and honestly, that moment where um, I can't remember whether it was you that faced him first or if it was Felix, but whomever faced him first in the jail was
Oh,
like,
It
okay,
was
yeah. I mean,
Felix.
I honestly did not mean to make it that like upset. Like for some reason, like that just the question, the way it came out or whatever, like that just tore at his, like she killed my wife, and it was just like I could feel how torn up Nate was. But even more so because like he loved her, he loved Ellie as well, and it was like that was worse,
Yeah.
so much worse. So, yeah.
And I love the fact that you had him go out and get himself cursed. Was just
That was
Of
totally
course.
in the moment. That was
Of
like,
course.
oh yeah, of course he's going to do it because he's hot-headed, he's impulsive, and so like, sure, I'm going to get myself cursed because it's like that's the only way to meet her like where she is, and
Yep.
yeah,
Claw to
for
claw.
sure, yeah, claw to claw.
Yeah, no, that made perfect sense both in terms of what the character would do and in terms of thematics.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
That was
Mhm.
that was absolutely right.
I mean, he was obsessed pretty much by that point, especially because like he came over, cursed and obsessed to come over into London and find you.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, when I handed over the backstory of what happened with the three of them, and you said, "Where's Nate now?" And I'm like, "Okay, yeah,
Mhm.
we're gonna be seeing Nate."
Mhm.
I
Yes.
said, "As far as I know, he's still looking." But
Yeah.
I mean,
You
with a
can't hand it.
backstory like that, how would you expect not to
Of course,
meet Nate?
of
I
course.
mean,
Come on,
it's like
the
playing.
setup.
Well, you haven't played Trophy with me yet, but I mean, like it's like handing me a devil's bargain and going like,
Yeah.
"You're gonna see him again." It's like, yes, you're gonna see him
No,
again. Of course.
I knew that was gonna happen. But
And just in case you didn't notice, it's like, yes, you were partially playing a trophy game with this mastermind.
so, like, yeah, with this mastermind, so the forest, that's
Mhm.
something that like we developed, or did your mastermind clues sort of build into the idea of that there is a forest?
Yes. So let's go into hold on. I hate all the tabs that I have open because it's like I get confused about where all
Yeah,
my shit
no,
is.
as you're pulling that up, it's just that like the way that you first pitched it was Mrs. Pemberton-Potts is a Brindlewood Bay player character being brought into the between, and her main interaction is going to be meddling. And then
Yes.
as we went
Yes.
on with it, it's like, no, we're playing trophy, and our last session was literally just a trophy incursion.
Yes.
My author
Yes.
notes for the incursion, as I wrote it for Sprigs and Kindling, is this is a nod to the games I enjoy in the Gauntlet space: Brindlewood Bay, Trophy Dark, and of course The Between. Play this mastermind if you want to meddle a little harder and keep a finger on the pulse of the threats by being a wise mentor and available to the hunters. As a keeper, you will be playing someone close to Hargrave House, but you do not have to reveal this person as the mastermind right away.
Oh,
Which is why
okay.
she is the one to introduce you to the threat, the first threat, if you introduce Enigma at Little Blackbirds as the first threat.
Okay. So Enigma is tied to her specifically.
Oh, yes, yes. I wrote that specifically that way.
Oh, yeah.
Mother Mallory is her friend, but
Yes.
she is definitely tied into that specific threat.
Because of the whole forest. And she had always had that plant theme, right? With the
Yes.
flowers, language, and things.
Flower language, it's all tied into her. It's all original. And the clues for the Little Blackbird threat are also like tied in like loosely to her mastermind clues as well. So like Lord Philip Brookmead is definitely tied into her. So,
Mm.
that's definitely like the tying her involvement as a mastermind, but also
The
like,
expedition notes and all that.
expedition notes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
for definitely sure. It calls all the way back to her. So, I mean, like, that's why she's specifically written that's specifically written as an associated threat. And it gives you the forest sense. So this way it's like, for any of her floral clues, yes, like you can use the forest sense to get the interpretation.
I like looking back on it. I like that Enigma was the first like threat because it is her plot in miniature. Like
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
as
Yes.
opposed to
Yes.
like the forest coming through everywhere. It's coming through one dude for the sake of revenge. And like it's just the whole season was watch as we take this plot and just make it bigger.
Yeah. I mean, he
Yeah.
was just the first. He was like one of the ones. He was the major one.
Mm-hmm.
Because as you discerned, I mean, like, he was one of Sir Thomas's best friends.
Yeah.
And if we hadn't taken Nora, she would have, right?
She
Because
would,
that
but just because she was,
or not Nora, but the person who did the murder, because that was also us who determined that was Nora.
Yeah. Who
I mean-
because that person is going to be tied to the forest and tied to that
Yes.
plot.
yes,
Yes.
exactly.
Okay.
Nice.
Or it could have turned out completely differently. Like, she might have worked out through Nora. Who knows? I mean, like, who knows how it would have turned out? Because I mean, I loved the way you guys just kept on working through it and just been like, okay. And then you took Nora in, and she was very grateful. So
We
that
took Nora
changed
in
things
and
too.
we took the forest home.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
like-
In a pot. In a pot.
Keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
I
This is
mean,
just
that was
good Hargrave
amazing.
House.
Look now, nobody asked you to nobody asked you to do any of that shit. Nobody asked you to do any of that shit. I was
No.
thoroughly thinking that you guys were going to destroy the little forest. You were
No.
going to destroy Nora.
No.
You were going to do all that
No.
shit. No,
No.
you took them both home. What the hell?
Yeah.
I love
So-
you guys. Go ahead.
Feedback.
Feedback. Go ahead.
So you want Mrs. Pemberton-Potts to be like this mentor character that PCs can kind of
like
depend on?
meddling, or like kind of like she's around, right? I mean, like she's meant to be the maven that kills. So basically,
So
that's how she started off. Basically, it's like what if a murder maven actually kills? It's like oops.
What if
But there has to be a good reason why she does it, and this was the good reason why. Is because like his friends did her dirty, or did them dirty.
the thought that I'm having, because whenever we leaned on her, it always felt like we know she's the bad guy, but we have to go talk to her, and it was like this reticence.
Yes,
I don't know.
Reticence, yeah.
Thank you. I've always read the word, but I've never heard the word. Anyway, I wonder if maybe to sort of slip in the like, oh, she's just an old lady who's here to help. Maybe coming up with like a move, or saying whenever there is a threat, Mrs. Pemberton-Potts' house is always a location you can go to investigate. Because
And get a clue.
and get a clue.
Oh,
And
nice.
then-
Okay, yeah. Okay,
And then
I like it.
because a lot of the clues that we came up with for like the mastermind were, oh, we're going from point A to point B on a threat. She picks us up in her carriage and she pulls out like something from her bag, or I think there was a point there was like a hidden compartment underneath.
Yeah,
And it's
like the Eclipse found a hidden compartment, like after she said, "Oh, get some tea, for refreshment as I'm driving you home."
and it's like
Yes.
3 things from the murdered guy. It's like, okay, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Look now, he was just like sitting there, and it's like I figured, okay, you want to do an info move or what?
Yeah.
But giving like
But
sorry.
I like that idea of mechanically supporting her as a resource
I
as
like that.
well as
What? Yeah, that's a good idea, because I was like trying to figure out how to make that obvious, like you can get help from her, but
Mhm.
yeah, like, you don't have to make it obvious that she's also the one that's working against you as well. So I'm like, I like that idea, like making it a mechanical like benefit. So this way it's like, all right, great. So you guys can get something from her, but she's also like making it difficult for you too.
because like if you wanted to, you could also include like a miss and then have whatever threat that they're doing an info move for make a move against her, and then the players are then motivated to effectively protect the mastermind.
Oh, I love that. Oh, that's so cool. So make it look like oh, like you got to protect this old lady too. Oh God.
Yeah.
Like that's the crux of the thing. Otherwise, like what was it? We dealt with the coven, and there
Yes.
she is, just kind of strolling by at 4 a.m. Like it's like, okay, now this lady is suspicious as hell.
Yeah.
I
Like,
thought that no,
Yeah.
but I thought that was so perfect because I mean, like
It was
just
great
the
'cause
sus, just the
we were
sus on your
already
faces.
we were already like side-eyeing her, but then she shows up there as like,
Mhm.
that is not right.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
She took an early morning constitutional. What's wrong with that?
Early morning constitutional usually doesn't mean
Sure.
4 a.m.
Hey,
Who
look now. I
else
mean, I'm sure
thinks,
like
oh
little old
boy,
ladies like wake up real stinking early. My mother does. So I mean, there you go. I'm just saying.
And she
So-
was a bit too much, not too much, but she was a lot in our business.
Oh, of course. But I mean, like again, Medla.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I get you.
I
I
would
get
like
you.
I
Though.
would love to see how she plays out with an explorer.
Okay. All right. So here's
Because
the
I
thing.
mean, Felix essentially wound up in that niche.
Right. Well, the other play group actually
but-
did have an explorer who
Oh,
did
okay.
know her,
nice.
who did know her from like kidhood and all this kind of stuff. And of course, it's like like my Mrs. Pemberton-Potts gave the explorer like a wonderful little nickname, Monday. Rosamund. But anyway, so of course, like right off the get, which was killed me. It's like the very first episode. It's like, don't trust her. It's like, well then, it's like, what the hell's the point?
yeah.
So I think adding that mechanical benefit is probably going to help that, regardless of whether the explorer knows her well, in a good way or a bad way. So like at least no matter what, any of the hunters can feel as if like, all right, like we're gonna be frenemies. It's fine,
If you really want to be subtle about it,
Mm.
whatever the first like threat is,
Yeah.
make her a reward. Like so in Enigma,
Yeah.
we're doing a favor for her. We're helping her as a
Yes.
personal thing.
Yes.
So by doing something, you unlock the move like Mrs. Pemberton-Potts' house. You may go here to get a clue, whatever. Why? Because she is a little old lady who knows
Gives
everybody.
you tea. Yes.
Like-
Gives you tea. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Go
then-
for tea at her house, and then like you'll get a clue, or like clear a condition or whatever the hell. Okay, I got.
Effective-
Oh.
Because then it isn't like, oh, there's this little old lady who is knocking on our door and insists on inviting us. Sabine?
I'm wondering, so if you might have players who will feel like cheated because they chose this as a reward, and it turns out that this is the mastermind, and they've been interacting with this one and maybe have given her ideas and stuff because she's an ally, right? You'd help her. And then afterwards it turns out she's the mastermind, but you paid to have her. I don't know if that. I
Could
mean,
it be
would
an
have been-
automatic reward and you get to choose
Yes. Yeah.
other awards?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
like
that-
because you're always having like 5 choices, So
Yeah.
But I mean,
And-
I just like the idea of nobody had to give up picking anything.
Yes. Yes.
The
Okay.
group,
Yeah,
the group
that-
gets this,
Yeah.
and
that
then
would be fine.
individuals get to choose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, with this group, it would have been totally fine. But I can see that there might be groups who would be like, that's kind of weird. I chose this, and I could have chosen something else that would have been actually.
So I mean, like, but I mean, like, because usually rewards of people or whatever or
Yeah.
contacts is usually like a group reward, right? So it goes to everybody, right? So
Hmm.
it's not like it's just like to just to that player. So I
Hmm.
mean, like putting her as a reward of like clear a condition or get a clue, like if you go visit her house or what have you. I mean, you make her a choice, right? Out of
Yeah,
like
yeah,
five.
absolutely.
So you
Yes.
think that's still fair? So you don't
Well,
like nobody has to choose her.
that's why I was suggesting that it instead be an automatic for the group, and then everybody gets to choose a reward off
Oh, I get
Mhm.
the
you. I get you.
list.
So
By
basically, like,
resolving
once
Enigma, you get this, and
you
then
get this
choose one.
automatically,
Mhm.
and then everybody gets
Yes.
to still choose out of the five. Okay.
Yes.
Get you. Okay.
That was my
Oh, I love
proposal
it.
to
Got it.
counter
Make it.
the
Mhm.
possible bad
Mhm.
feelings of
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. I
I
like that
picked the
too.
one that was
Was
helping
the
our enemy.
the
I
one that was
I
the
picked
was the was the
Mhm.
dud. Whoops. The trap. Okay. No,
Hmm.
I like that. I like that. Thank you. No, I like that feedback. Okay.
I also think that if you want uh the threat she poses to be more subtle to start, that maybe the earlier flower language be a little more ambiguous
Mhm.
because the warning threat, etc., was just like from quite early, as I
Yeah.
recall.
Yes,
Yes.
I think the first flowers we were like, wait a minute. She seems nice, but she's sending us that?
The
Um,
first one was in with Limbo High. It was warning, caution, distrust, secrecy.
Ah.
that was the one that was the first that was a clue,
Mhm.
but she came with a bouquet that
Oh,
first time
Yeah. Hold
Yes.
on.
that
Let's see.
didn't get
Private.
written down
Yeah. Hold
in
on.
the
Hold
keeper.
on. Where was this?
I think rhododendrons were in it. I forget.
Yeah. Hold on. And I also got
uh,
it wrong the first time too because it's like I was so nervous and trying to present it to you, I gave the wrong flowers. So
Oh.
that's also my
Is
fault.
it
Okay.
the Datura and Marigolds?
Hold on. Oh, crap a doodle doo. Where is
That
this?
was that was also another thing. Did you have the meaning of the flowers
Yeah, here
written
we go.
out
Yes. So,
when?
first
Okay.
appearance in the story should be early and brief. She brings over her calling cards with a neighborly bouquet, rhododendron and begonia. It's not like it wasn't her telling her that she was the danger and beware of her. It was like her like letting you know that there's like some danger about and just to be wary.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Because I don't think that's how we read it.
it was still a little discordant because there was this little old lady who was asking us for help, and then we have got these flowers that say something very not little old lady
But I mean, like,
style.
It was
would you have
ominous,
known?
but yeah.
It
Like,
was ominous, yes.
yeah, but would you have known like if you weren't aware of flower language? I mean, that's the thing. I mean,
Yeah, but you
you
can't assume that the players aren't
Mm. Or they can Google it.
or won't Google it.
won't Google it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
I
what we
mean,
did when it came to like,
I
oh,
know, right?
what
It's
does
like
this
you guys are
mean?
so funny.
I mean,
You guys are so funny.
the thing is, flower language has been an interest of mine for a long time,
Hmm.
but there are so many different possible meanings. I have this big omnibus list,
Hmm.
Mm.
but knowing which one you were going with kind of required me to interact with the game mechanics more than just,
Yeah,
you know,
and I have the floriography
because
like book that I yeah.
right,
So,
you have a set that you're working with,
mhm,
which
mhm.
you have to
Yes.
because you
Mhm.
can't just leave it wide open because there's, as I said, huge variance
Oh yeah.
among the possible
For
Mhm.
sure. I mean, and I do
meanings.
list it like
But
in my threat slash like the mastermind
uh-huh.
thing itself. It's like I do list like what specific meaning I ascribe to it anyway. So I
Right.
mean, like
Which
that's like
yeah, that's
I don't leave that completely a chance. I've been like this is
yeah,
what
good.
like just run with
Right.
it. No, it's like I actually say what it means. Like I try not to do that because I mean, like I understand that there's going to be some keepers that are be like, what the hell does this mean? Like, why does this mean anything to me?
Right.
You know.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, but
But
there's a
I
lot
kind
in
of feel
here.
like if the first bouquet was more I'm your friend,
Okay, all right,
then
fair.
warning, I think it would have been
Mhm.
easier to take as, oh, okay.
Mhm.
we have an ally down the street.
Okay. All
Uh,
right, fair. All right, I can change that. That's easy. But yeah, I mean, like, because
and then
then,
and
like,
then
the little,
it would be particularly interesting if everything's very sweet and nice and positive, and then the
like, little
bouquets
blackbirds
start
is where you start seeing the
shifting.
beware. Yeah,
Right,
the
we see
beware.
things start changing as we go and go. She hasn't always been this ominous, right? Right?
Yeah, I mean, like, but the thing is, it's like, I wasn't sure how long this was going to be. I
Oh,
didn't
sure.
know this was going to
Sure.
be the
Yeah, no, this is
longest freaking series that I had.
We're amazing. We know.
well
I know.
that's because we're just milking the drama for all it's worth, is
I
what
mean,
it is.
Also,
the one
Uh,
that, the first one that I've run of the between with the original rules was the one that Mike joined halfway through, and that was only 19 episodes. This one, 30. Thank you. I was like, what?
you you have this question here about thoughts about the season, especially if you've been in a long campaign.
You've been in
before.
3 now,
I have
Mike.
I have absolutely no context for what a normal length Game of the Between is.
My first campaign that I was a player, it was 12 episodes.
Jeez, that's fast. Okay.
Yeah, but that was because Jason like wrote the game and he was able to get through an entire cycle in one session. It's like
Mm.
Yeah.
I think I was only able to do that
Jason
a
is
handful of
Jason's
times.
very fast,
Yes.
but I
Mm.
appreciate it actually more if you have a little more time to breathe for the characters.
Yes.
Mm.
yeah, I'm all about the character drama and character interaction and
Yeah.
and
Yes.
you guys, I mean, I love it when you guys do that because one, it gives me a chance to get ready for the next phase, and then
Oh.
two, it's like I'm an audience member. I'm watching this stuff. I'm like, yeah. It's like if I had popcorn, I'd be like, yeah. For sure. Oh my gosh. It's like I need to get my high on the episodes, like, every week. So I'm like what's happening with these characters? I'm like, oh, the drama. Okay.
Mhm.
But yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, it's like if it wasn't for the fact that like you guys just pretty much like peaked at the assault and then just had to go downhill from there, I was just like, it probably could have gone on for at least another 5, another 5 episodes, honestly, because damn,
yeah.
it's like once you hit the she had to strike at your weakest point, which was like Nate dying. It was like, oh yeah, it's like I couldn't push it for any further, honestly. I mean,
Oh
like,
yeah, no, that was
she
that
was
was
gonna
definitely the time
she
to
was gonna beat you down.
to
She was
hit us.
definitely gonna beat you down for that. So
Yeah. And I really liked the fact that her reaction, I mean, that's when she came at us, yeah, but that she was so compassionate to Ellie about Nate, and that felt genuine, and that really,
It felt
filled
right.
it
in
was Jason. It was
her
genuine.
motive. Yeah, that really filled in her motivation. That
Yes.
that really made it clear that it was losing her love that made her do this
Yeah,
and sent her over the edge. And so that
and that's
that
why.
really made her a rounded character and not just she's secretly evil or something.
Mm.
No, I
Uh
mean, and for the fact that, I mean, if anything, she gave. It was like like how you say like the first mystery was kind of like the what is it the
Test run.
the test run. I mean, like
mhm.
what she ended up doing for Nate was essentially the test run for the big gesture for Sir
Mhm.
Thomas, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
Yeah. And I that is obviously not something you can plan for when you're writing a mastermind, but it felt really nicely
it did.
symmetrical and organic the way that worked
Mhm.
out.
And honestly, I did not know that was the move that came out of the Gardens. I mean, like when I read that and like I picked it and then I read it, I was like, oh shit. It was like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the fact that her name was Madeline, I'm like, what? What?
Mhm.
And when we came across her in the forest and she introduced herself, oh, right.
Mhm, mhm,
Digging
mhm,
in the garden, you say, oh boy.
mhm. And like you already knew, like from having to deal with that particular like room in Hargrave House. It's like, is she really here? What's going on? Oh my God.
Yeah, this is time and life and
There's
death
some
and
funky shit going on around here. Yeah.
Speaking of the rooms in Hargrave House, I really like that addition from like the
Mhm.
Yes.
previous rules because
Yeah.
before it was just like I don't even remember how the previous rules had it. It was
The
literally just a
previous
paint the
rules,
scene.
yes, it was originally just like part of Dusk Phase, which was paint the scene on a room of Hargrave House. You got a question, you got a prompt, and you basically filled in the room. Because what this was supposed to do in the original rules was to give you a room in Hargrave House that you could, once you filled it in, then you could go back to and then kind of like add to your setting. And it's like, all right, you've already like mentioned what's like comfortable in the salon, so now you can go back to the salon at any other time now and then describe like your actions in the salon and make it comfy, da 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 da, right? But now it's even more involved because now you're supposed to originally make a choice, right, with the new rules as
Yeah.
far as I understand it, which is you're either doing the full blown London night phase of an unseen and then going out and doing your hunter things and, you know, acting da 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 da, or you're choosing to stay and exploring Hargrave House's one room and whatever move or action or thing comes out of that particular room, that's the only thing that you do, and that's your reward for doing that thing for that just the entire night phase, which I guess is great, except I feel like it limits you because then, okay, great, you get a great move or whatever out of it, but then the timer still ticks. Your active
Yes.
threats are still marching on, and it's like you're fucked if you like don't do
Yeah,
anything about them.
that's
Yeah.
the thing. I like the way you handled it
Thank
Yeah.
you.
because
Yes.
if we'd had to either or, I don't see us picking rooms beyond
No.
very early
Yes,
when we
Um,
don't have much on our plates.
right.
Even very early, we wanted to get to the night phases to see what's
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah,
And
get in trouble.
I think maybe having this made a choice between unseen and room that might have been interesting, but I don't know. But still, I don't think sacrificing an entire night basically for this room that is kind of like I don't know. There was
Because-
always something we wanted to do during the night.
Yes, I know, and I really wanted you to like either resolve something on the night phase or like find out something, like because there's always the option of like getting an info move done, even with the risk of doing a night move or something like that. I mean, but at least you could have progressed something and like found out something if you didn't resolve something right away.
And that's more like narratively compelling to have to uncover more details at night. Like
Yeah.
that feels like that's part of the
Dangerous.
loop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like theoretically, you could always do a Rooms of Hargrave House at night, and then the only time that you go and you deal with night moves is when you've answered a question.
True.
Like that feels weird. And
It does.
Yeah.
I agree with Sabine that like you could try and like have the Hargrave House rooms replace unseens.
But then
But
you'd
then-
be going through them too fast if
Yeah.
if you always had that.
Yeah.
And when would
option.
you like actually get oh darn
Echo.
Echo in the Night.
Thank you.
But the way I handled it is like, it gives you that still possibility. It's like, well, if you sneak in some kind of thematic, sensual detail within your room description, like response to the prompt, then there's still the possibility of getting an echo in the night. I granted the whole technical thing about the echo in the night is that it's like a like something about the seedy underbelly being very echoing, like, what you're doing in the hunter scene, granted. But again, with the way I played it, like, you guys got rewarded for rolling so goddamn well. It's like, I mean, I don't see any point in like not giving you a room as well as being able to narrate your resolution. I mean, like, that was my solution to allow you to, like, let's do a room, sure, because like you're not gonna get too far off the beam by just narrating your success on the night phase, right? So I mean, like, that's my way of like, allowing you to do both. And I think I don't care.
I really like that.
Thank
Me
you.
too, yeah. That was
I mean, like, and that's how I'd be handling it, like, from now on. I mean, I don't like
Mhm.
fuck that part of the rule. Sorry. I mean, I love everybody else, but I mean, like, that's the way I'm going to handle it because I mean,
Mhm.
I don't see at least anybody in my games because I mean, like, I know how slow burn we are because we want to see people getting together and doing drama and stuff like that. I mean, like, I don't see anybody else really choosing like rooms just for rooms, you know.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, they're all super fun, but so it's
They
a pity
are.
that you wouldn't usually choose them because you want your night phase to do your night phase shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's so much to
exactly.
do on night phase shit for sure.
Mhm.
And yeah. And then the only other thing that I can recall that's like definitively changed is like a little bit of the order of how things are done during the dusk phase. It used to be a choice of like, okay, first you do the paint the scene on the rooms, and then you'd like find out whether people wanted to answer a question, and then find out how they wanted to handle night phase. Now it's first off, do people want to answer a question to make sure that any questions that needed to be answered were, you know, answered off the bat. And then we
Hmm.
find out what people want to do for night phase, and then like discover whether, you want to do a London or want to do a Hargrave House night phase.
Hmm.
And then figure out what the people's actions would be from there. But yeah, I mean, like, I think that was like the other big difference that I had. And of course, the way the vulnerable move is made now. So the original way the vulnerable move was made was, of course, two people would get together. You have to use somebody's vice,
Hmm.
and whomever's vice was used, the other person had the option of asking that person something about their past. And then that the person whose vice it was could answer it, as much or as little as they wanted to, but honestly. Okay. And then they would create a clue, um, you know, to get out of that whole particular thing. All right.
Oh, I
And
thought
both
it
of wait,
was.
wait, wait. And then both of them would clear a condition out of that vulnerable move. That's how the original thing worked. Now, the way it works is that in the vulnerable move, you still have somebody using their vice. But the person whose vice is being used, that person can talk about their past freely. Doesn't matter. Just talk about your past freely. Doesn't matter. What you're talking about. Just talk about your past freely. Clear a condition. Try to mention your condition, like whatever's causing your condition. Da da da. And you're both clear a condition, and then at the end of it, you both, or like the whole table tries to come up with a clue. For the threat that you're talking about or that's active or what have you, as far as I
The
understand it.
y- yeah, the new one gives you a clue and the condition clear. The previous one, you had to choose between getting a clue or asking a personal question. You
Yes.
were always guaranteed the condition, but you were not always guaranteed the clue, which felt
Yes.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this setup. Also, this makes it easier to act within character because not all characters are gonna pry
Mhm.
and ask, and therefore you if you're the one who's waiting to be asked, you might not get to talk about anything about your past, even if you want to,
Yeah.
under the old rules, if nobody asks.
Mhm, mhm.
And so, this way you don't have to bend your character to say, look, I would never pry, but I know you're dying to give some exposition here,
I think
so I
I
will give you an opening for it, even though it
I
doesn't make sense for me to do
right.
that.
I think the logic of it now is the fact that I mean, if you're indulging in your vice, you're naturally going to be more gregarious about your shit.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
It's like
and that
I'm just
I
going to
really
talk
like
about
that.
what
It
happened to
makes
me
more
like 10 years
sense.
ago and shit. It's like I
Yeah,
think the reasoning behind it. So I get that part. I was
yeah,
like, oh, so it makes perfect sense to me now. I'm like, yeah, let me just talk about myself. It's okay. Because I'm
yeah.
indulging in coffin varnish or whatever the hell I'm indulging in,
Right.
you know?
And since this was my first campaign of the Between, I was kind of feeling it out the whole way. Like, I don't know how much I want to think ahead. I don't know how. I mean, the whole Nate Cora backstory, we'd been playing for a bit before I put that together. I
Mhm.
knew I knew she'd killed someone she was romantically involved with,
Right.
but I didn't have that whole
Oh yeah. Well,
thruple thing
but I mean also too, I mean
until
like
we'd been
yeah.
going for a bit.
But I also told you
Uh,
it's like, like with Brindlewood Bay, right? You look at your kind of like your masks to kind of give you an
yeah,
idea of like what kind of direction you wanted to go in. So,
right, yeah,
things come out organically. I mean, you might even
yeah,
change your mind from the first mask to the, to the fourth mask in your Masks of the Past. So, it
yeah.
is what it is,
But
right?
right, exactly. But I felt like as I was getting used to things, it was easier for me under these new rules
Hmm.
than it would have been if I was waiting for someone to ask something specific and
Right.
then come up
Right.
with an answer to that specific thing,
Yes.
which I might
Yes.
not have thought of yet.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know, it was easier for me this way, and I like this a lot better
Hmm. Yeah.
than the old approach.
And I honestly don't remember like how the cozy move worked in Brindlewood Bay. So I mean, like, I'm pretty sure you guys got a clue out of it or something like that,
Yeah,
and
yeah, we
while
did.
also clearing conditions. So it's like that was just a lot easier, and then like boom, you're done. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
this was a little bit more, a little bit more finicky. So I mean, like, I'm glad
Hmm.
it kind of got a little bit more streamlined and sensible. So I
Yeah.
liked it. Yeah. Trying to think if there was anything else that like distinctly different from old rules versus new rules. Oh, the ending. Okay, so the way it used to work is that, all right, you had to
Oh,
have
right.
15 mastermind clues just to get to the point where you can like start to say mastermind threat. Okay, like we're building towards the mastermind threat, the ending, right? And before that, there was like these layers. So the layers would be like, okay, first appearance of the mastermind, and then like, start to reveal history. And then somebody, like one of the threats becomes a servant of the mastermind. And then you reveal more history or something like that. And then, um, I forget what the other layers were, but I mean, like, I just can kind of go over those. Um, but in this case, um, or I should say, like, and then the mastermind threat would be like kind of like some people could get it done in one. I personally can't. I mean, I know me, the build up and then the finale like has to be two. Sorry. It's like how I've always done it. So like the two part mastermind threat finale. Okay.
Mhm.
The way it works now is that, okay, you have an initial mastermind question, which is how does the mastermind intend to, uh, scheme against, hold on, what the hell is, oh, how does the mastermind intend to destroy the crown? Complexity 8. That's always the overarching question. And the mastermind clues just come out as they come out. So like a 12 plus on a blah blah, and then you get the mastermind clue, um, and then just kind of build up from there. And then 8 mastermind clues, I believe, gets you like on the way to going towards the mastermind question. But before that, you have to make sure that all the history is revealed. And like I think it's like it has to be like 4 or 5 different history that has to be revealed. And you also have to have like one of the threats be a servant by this time. So that's layer 3.
Mm.
Um, so I've revealed all the history layers. I had like, Dr. Charles be a servant of the mastermind. And then we got to 8 mastermind clues, but I think by that point it was like very convoluted. Like you still had some threats out there. Now, the reasoning
Mhm.
behind this is that I think they wanted to keep up with the episodic nature of the Between, but also hint at the idea that you could still like speed run it. Like if people were just interested in like not doing any role play, but just like play it like a game, and then just like just do like boom, 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 get through the threats, boom, 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 and then still leave some stuff for like another season or like just to continue onward with different characters or what have you, and then go to a new mastermind because you just want to go through the list of masterminds or what have you. Then you could, and you weren't like beholden for however many episodes to try and get that done, like the 15 mastermind clues would have you do.
Hmm.
So, like, after all that was done, servant becomes a mastermind, all the history is revealed, 8 mastermind clues have been reached. You have them answer the mastermind question, complexity 8. And depending on their answer, if they miss, they automatically go to the assault. And they have to figure out how to defend
Yeah.
against the whatever the hell you come up with for the servants, coming up against the hunters, which it was supposed to be the servants, but you know me, it's like I have to make it like crazy because you
Hmm.
guys were all in previous series or campaigns of mine, so I had to make it fun. And then if you did succeed, like, with the mastermind question, then you would go automatically to the confrontation, not the assault. And the confrontation was essentially the mastermind threat, which had its own question. And then that had its own complexity. But if you answered the mastermind question well, then you would keep the confrontation question at its, relative complexity of like 6 or whatever the hell it was. But if you failed at the mastermind question, then you would not only get to the assault first and then go to the confrontation, but you'd also make the confrontation question harder. You'd make it go up to complexity 8. So, yeah. So a few more things that you'd have to do before you got to the finale. And regardless of, like before, where I would try to have you wrap up all the threats before you went to the mastermind threat, to the finale,
Hmm.
you didn't have to do that here. You notice that, as you say, like you had the Angel of Truth still out there. You had the King in Shadows play still running. It's like other people will be handling it, or you'd get to season 2, what have you.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Because this would allow for, if this one mastermind went away or got killed or what have you, there'd be another one stepping into their place, and more threats coming after whomever's still at Hargrave House or coming in new to Hargrave House, new season,
Hmm.
right? And so, again, keeping up with the episodic nature, season nature of the show, right? So, and again, didn't keep people beholden to the series for an extended period of time if they didn't want to. So this way, again, they could speed run the one mastermind and then go out and then come back in with completely new characters or completely new mastermind or something like that, and continue onward from wherever they stopped.
Like it's interesting, definitely. And like
Yeah.
I like the dichotomy between the assault and the confrontation
Hmm.
because
Yeah.
in previous seasons, like that was combined. Like when it was time to throw down and like we had answered the question, the mastermind threw a gauntlet in like
Yes.
both of the seasons that I played along in
Yes.
previously.
Yes, you did. Yeah.
So having them as two separate things where like the bad guy is ready to start going, that triggers the assault, feels good. Like, and to have Hargrave House on the back foot.
Yeah, exactly. And that's basically what the point
Hmm.
was. It's like, just to kind of like either like, like I'm sick of messing with you now. It's like, I'm going to send my servants in or whomever to soften you up. And then it's like, if you want to come after me, right?
One thing that would be useful in the future, and this is just like a general between thing, is
Yeah.
I'd like to have somewhere where I could look at the those flashbacks that you have for the
Oh, yeah, yeah,
mastermind
yeah.
because it when it got close to the end, separately we had to ask you, "Hey, could you post just the blurbs for what happened in the past?" Because I know other masterminds also have similar timelines, right? Where it's like this
Yeah.
happened and this
Hmm.
happened building
Yeah,
up
that's
to
true.
the displeasure with the crown.
Right.
And previously, like Queen of Hearts. Queen of Hearts was insane. There wasn't really like a put a finger on the specific timeline where she decided Queen Victoria needs to go. That's just who she was. Like
Yeah. And to be honest, it's like I'm trying to remember because Queen of Hearts and then the one that happened after her, the
Titania.
no, it's like this was a season you weren't in.
Oh, okay.
Well, Titania did have a history. That's for definite sure, because that one definitely was written within the published material. Queen of
Mm,
Hearts was not within published material, but I think it will be for the
okay.
print publication. And but at that time, like that I did it was like a like third party material from Ben Masonio, and then the mastermind that came after was brain does not want to work today. The Puppet Master one, Ravenna Rossetti, she was also third party material, and like they didn't necessarily have history. Like it was very
Hmm.
sparse. So I mean, like it was like stuff that I had to make up. So yeah, I mean, like if they have like like really drawn out like written histories, then yes, it should be something that should be posted, and that I can and will post like in the future. Like I'll put it into the actual character keeper itself, so this way, hey, reminder, guys, this is what like I put into the stinger scene slash reveal. So this way you can be reminded of like this is who they were, or this is what happened to
Hmm.
them in their
That
past.
would be helpful, yeah.
Yeah. And so I mean, like hopefully, like the stuff that I did post like was kind of like helpful to
It
Yeah,
was.
keep in
yeah.
mind, you know. But then also too
That's
like the
something that might
good
be
stuff.
good feedback for the app to have a
Mm,
space
okay,
to put that in the app.
yeah, as a reminder for
I
people.
haven't had a chance to look at the app yet.
But also
Same.
too, I
This
mean, like I'm
weekend is
wondering, like
kind of bananas,
because
but
that for this particular mastermind, it was very crucial that you needed to remember and know
hmm
what the past was. I'm not sure how much it is for the others, because
Like,
some people would say that maybe like that should be shown in the clues, and I don't know how many of the writers of the other masterminds have written them into the clues to hint at this is important to know towards whatever confrontation question or the mastermind question or what have you. I know for like Theodora Brathwaite, for instance, it's like, yeah, some of that history is kind of important because it's like, she does have a beef against Victoria because of blah in her history. So yeah, that is kind of important to know. Um, but for others, it might not be. I don't know. I mean,
I mean, like working with Jack on the Wellington Hughes, like that
yeah.
timeline, mm, uh, just kind of mentioning that one. No, the history is more like tracking that this family has always been this way, and it
Uh-huh.
describes like the character.
Yes.
I would say like the history is important. You can get some of that from the clues, but building up towards like what the
Why?
mastermind threat is and why, like
Yeah.
I think the history is important.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, like, and that's why I wrote her the way I did, because it's like, you can see the buildup. You can see this is why she did what she did.
Hmm.
Um, at least I hope. I hope it came across that way when you guys read through the history reveal again. Um, I tried to include as much as I could. Yeah, for the most part, it's like I cribbed a lot of stuff because some of the new rules weren't even out yet. But the assault was based on the siege uh, rules from Ghosts of El Paso, the
Mm.
between like set in America around the same time, which is the same thing. It's like, but instead of defending a house, you're defending a town from invaders. Um,
Mm.
but same difference. I mean, like you still have to do the search for clues or ways to defend, and then you have to take care of the actual defense and resolution for the second half of the siege slash assault. So, as far as I can think of, I think that's the only other stuff that is a little bit different from the stuff. But I like that feedback about making sure that there's a place for seeing the history, so this way you can remember what you heard before. Because some people don't take that into consideration, which yeah, it's kind of important. But and also some people don't even take good notes. So
Guilty.
I know. I mean, like it's hard
yeah.
for me too
I
because I
do for
mean,
a lot of campaigns, and
oh yeah,
for whatever reason, this one I just have like no notes.
because
And
you were sunk.
yeah,
You were sunk in
I
it. You
mean,
were like,
yeah, yeah. I am the note taker of my regular
mhm.
long running gaming group, and I take
Usually I am too.
voluminous notes, and I'm always like, oh yeah, that guy. We saw that guy, 6 months ago when we did da.
I I used to be
And in
too.
this, I just partly it's also because I can go back and watch the videos,
Yes, that
which
was the
my
other reason
regular
why I
group doesn't
record. Yeah,
doesn't do.
I record as well.
So if I need to know, wait a minute, how did we resolve something? Or I can just, okay, what
Yeah.
episode? There we go.
Yeah. It's yeah. I mean, but it's even funnier, when I try to go back and go to the Brindlewood Bay stuff and go like, oh my God, we did that when? Yeah.
Oh yeah, for viewers, I don't think it was actually said on video. My counterpart in the Siege on Hargrave House was my character from the Brindlewood Bay game
Yeah.
that Mads ran.
Sorry.
Golden Grifters, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Golden Grifters. Pearl Olson, who was a grifter. She seemed like a sweet little old lady because that's what she wanted you to think she was. Uh,
Do you
but
know
she'd
why she
been
appeared the way she did?
yeah, oh, because she had a mask that she'd acquired in the course of the finale of that campaign,
Yeah.
a magical mask, and so she could disguise herself with that.
Yep.
But yeah, she's been grifting since her teens, and when she found herself in this situation in a time and place not her own, she was just paddling as hard as she could under the surface to go along with it and not get found out. Uh,
But
that's how she wound up in this situation.
but even more meta. I mean, like the
Yeah.
other reason why she
yeah.
appeared as she appeared as Eros was because remember,
Yes.
you guys went up against Eros because he had a beef
Yes.
against you guys because you fucked with his plans.
Yes.
That
was the Arrows thing specifically. Yes.
He had a grudge.
Yes.
Yeah. Him and Persephone. Yes, him and Persephone had grudges. But yeah, so that was the other reason why you appeared as why Pearl appeared as Eros in the assault.
Yes. It was
And
it was very nicely thematically.
Yes.
Yes.
And
I would also know if Cyrano managed to rescue Cascado at one point or another in the future.
Yes. I mean, basically, like I think Mordecai did manage to return them all to a point where, just before they lost their loved ones.
Oh, okay. Good.
So, yeah.
Nice. Thank you, Mordecai.
Yes. But I mean, like, I think it was one of those things of like, like calls to like.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, the Mastermind grieving loss, she's going to call to these people who experienced loss in their life. So, I mean, Pearl had either just lost or had lost Adamas, and like, Cyrano had just lost Cavascato, and then Sir Atticus had lost, I mean, let's see. This would have been no. I'm trying to think because this man had jumped dimensions a couple of times. So I mean I'm trying to think.
Let's not get too much into Sir Atticus.
Yes,
because between seasons puts you through some stuff.
Yeah, but he's lost quite a few people. I mean, whether he lost his sister, whether he lost the one younger Artemis Everly Grey, whether he lost the Duke of Blood, who the hell knows? I mean, who the hell knows? Smoke, yeah. But if it was the point of him losing Smoke, he would have remembered Prince Puck, and I didn't want it to be that particular Sir Atticus. So,
speaking of calling to one thing that I did really appreciate about Mrs. Pemberton-Potts was her servants. They were all of them very present compared to Queen of Hearts had the huntsman who just kind of appeared in mirrors, was really handsome and spooky, and he wasn't as engaged as each one of these characters.
Oh yeah,
had a presence, had a personality, and I think every one of the player characters had a relationship with at least one of them.
Yes, and each one of them had their own backstory.
You wanted to tell us their backstory.
If you want to hear them, I can tell you what their backstory is.
Yeah.
So I mean, imagine that each one of them went through their own trophy incursion. I'll say that right now.
Of course.
So each one of them had been involved, whether they wanted to or not, in some kind of trophy incursion. Like the doctor had gone into the forest to search for a particular ingredient to help him with his experiment to remain young, remain beautiful, and so he was the
Oh,
only one to barely survive.
should have found somebody to make him a masterwork, though.
He didn't know about that part. He only
Oh,
was looking for that one
oh,
ingredient. And
huh.
yeah. And so he he was promised
Mhm.
like immortality in a sense by the forest, right?
Mhm.
And then uh Laurel, who was very loyal to her mistress, a duchess, was like, the perfect servant, the perfect factotum, the perfect secretary, whatever you want to call her. But she was also very talented, in that lady in waiting way, but also like, also very skilled. She could learn anything, but she's also very beautiful. And unfortunately, when the Duchess's like, what do you call it, rakish nephew came
Mm.
home to try to take his place, as the heir or whatever. He made a very unfortunate few plays for Laurel, and she had to escape in the
Mm.
forest near her.
Mm.
And
Mm.
he was almost going to get her when she tripped, and
Okay.
she she basically like fought her way out, but she had to make some sacrifices to get away and survive, and it was through her um, foot that tripped her up that
Oh.
she had to get away. And then Maglasang, imagine Maglasang's family being combination vessel and legacy.
Mhm.
His
Yeah.
family are well-known
What a
sorceress.
weird concept.
Weird.
So cool.
They're sorceress monster hunters from
Mhm.
from very far away,
Mhm.
and they happened upon this because the forest like brought him round. But
Mm.
he's a lot older than he looks. Let's put it that way. And the reason he's very philosophical about what's going on with his tattoos is because he's seen this shit before. He has it
Mm.
in his notes. I think one of the clues that I laid out for the confrontation is that he's got a grimoire. But I didn't give that to you because there was no convenient place to put it. Um, and yeah, there's like something where yeah, he was involved in an expedition very similar to what Sir Thomas's expedition was supposed to do, like where they
Mhm.
were supposed to seek out something for a patron, and he barely got out, and that was only because of his sorceress abilities. And he had to
Mm.
promise to serve the forest as well in his own way, and the markings are part of it. So
Interesting.
yeah,
I wish there was a way to like get to know them more
I
than
know. I
we
mean,
were able to.
I
Like
Mhm.
Magnuson got plenty of screen time and
Yeah.
Mhm.
well, that
like
was
that
because of
was
his
good.
friendship, and I don't know why the hell we worked out the whole Nora Maglasang like
Mhm.
romance. I, I didn't even mean that for that to happen, but it just ended up happening, and I don't know how. Again, I really don't know how the hell that organically happened. It just
Yeah, and sort of like if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't really have a lot of visibility into it. We would just kind of like aside from Felix like snubbing Laurel a lot and like talking with Magda saying like after the Nora relationship had been established, the most that we had seen, I think, was when we went to visit and they were like doing workouts in the back.
hmm hmm
Mm-hmm.
And
that was to hint at like their skill set a little bit later on,
Yeah.
and then I think the doctor was like starting to show interest in Ellie, but I think
Yeah.
Lansing
Yeah.
was a
He
little
was he
bit.
was flirting with her from Little Blackbird.
Yep, but
and
Lansing wasn't having it.
and then there was
Yeah.
that
No. Once
whole
once
time
Lindsay came on the scene.
And then there was the time that Ellie got like lost in the house, in the mastermind
Yeah,
house.
Mm.
Like
yeah,
aside
with
from that, we didn't really
meantimes screwing with me. Yeah.
aside from that, we didn't really have a lot of interaction with them. So I wonder how we would be able to get more from that, or if that's just up to whoever's facilitating.
I
Like
think it's
you
up
just
to
say,
whomever's
here
facilitating.
are the servants.
Yeah, I think it would be up to whomever's facilitating. I basically threw everything but the kitchen sink into this mastermind thing. I mean, like, there's a lot in here because, again, you didn't know that there was like the servants even had moves until the very end because I had no
Mhm.
place to put them. I mean, like,
Right.
I had no place
They
to
weren't
mention them.
acting against us, and we didn't
Yeah,
witness them acting against anything else.
yeah.
So,
Well, yeah, not quite, not
not,
quite. You
yeah,
had a
I
hint.
mean,
You had a hint again. You had a hint of that, of at least the doctor's move when you saw the first appearance or the first night move thing or whatever for Mrs.
singer
Pemberton
thing.
Potts, as well
Yeah.
as, like, when he when Taggart escaped. So
Right,
you got
yeah.
a hint of that, but aside from that, you didn't get to see anybody else's, unfortunately. So, any other things that anybody wanted to see or noticed from the mastermind or associated threat or anything from the season that they wanted to mention or that they really loved or hated about the season? I don't care. It's fine. This is the time for feedback.
I mean, the budding found family thing is always a
Mhm.
good
Yeah.
like theme in games of
Mhm.
the between, but this one
Yes.
especially was like
Mhm.
watch Ellie and her two weird
Mhm.
uncles
Oh my
like solve
God.
crimes.
Oh my god.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It was so funny to me how early on, even as I was still sort of feeling out who Ellie was and how I was playing her, um, it was clear that if anybody's going to be handling like normal social obligations and things, it was going to be me because good Lord, the rest of this
Yeah.
crew is not doing.
I mean,
So I'm like, well, she did have a lot drilled into her as a kid that she's consciously rejected a lot of her childhood, but there's still that yet you have a visitor, you welcome the visitor, you don't just, oh God, you're here, whatever. Uh,
I
I
mean,
think
Felix was the
Mordecai,
one that was doing that, and then like
yeah.
well, yeah,
Jai in the beginning as well. It's just
yeah,
like,
Well, Mordecai
ah,
wanted to be a very social person because he had internalized these rules and tried to follow them. And then Felix came along and it was like, fuck this, and we're meeting people in the kitchen, I guess.
yes.
it was amazing. I mean, you guys were just like, oh, I guess we're meeting in the kitchen. Sure.
Okay, then fine. If I don't actually have to be a very super polite person, or even try to. And Mordecai always had to really try hard to make allowances for people he thought of as, well, lesser, I guess.
I thought
Arrogant.
that first interaction was delightful because I
Mhm.
mean, like, the morning after was just like she's brought into the kitchen, and then Jai
Mhm.
and Felix decide to play a
Mhm.
joke on her, and then Ellie's
Mhm.
trying to be very, very considerate, and then Mordecai's
Mhm.
like, pardon me for being in my morning clothes. I'm like, this describes everybody in just such a short amount of time. It's so brilliant. It's great.
Yeah,
And she's just trying to explain to you what the hell the mystery is.
yeah.
No.
Mhm.
So good.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
good.
Mhm.
That was like a perfect episode. That's like
Mhm.
the pilot, right? It's like the pilot
Mhm.
episode that you love to see because it's like,
Mhm.
Right,
what the
establishing everybody right off the bat,
Mhm.
right off the
you get
bat.
an idea of what to expect from these
Mhm.
characters
Yes.
as a
Mhm.
baseline, and then
Exactly.
we
Mhm.
can develop
So
from there.
absolutely
Mhm.
delightful. I was just like, ah! And then of course, like, the whole cold open thing, which actually wasn't the cold open because of the way I edited it. It was just like, yes. Oh my gosh. Ah,
That's
guys, this season.
that's been something that you've done like for the past like this one and the last one I was in. Just the
Mhm.
in medias res, let's resolve a threat like to start. And it
Mhm.
feels, at least as a player, cutting right to the action, it does get us engaged with our characters, even though we don't quite know who we are.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
it's still a good chance to like introduce everyone to each other.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
just want to like
Yes.
give kudos on that.
Thank you.
And even
Yeah,
to their own
I enjoyed
players,
doing
right?
that. And I mean, from the start, we were all very Ellie straight into the action, manhandling the manhandling the strike
Right.
breakers. Felix doing the social thing, manipulating people on that level, and
Mhm.
Mordecai doing the sorcery thing, and
Mhm.
Jai being creepy,
Jai.
scary
Yeah. Oh,
entity.
Stealthy.
she was so creepy
Oh
in
my
that
gosh, it's so good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And thank you for
Yeah,
bringing
I'm
Nim
sorry
back for
that
the so funny.
yes.
Mhm.
Um I am sorry that neither Jazzy nor Chris got to be with
Mhm.
us terribly
Yeah.
long
Yeah.
because I enjoyed playing
Yeah.
with them and I enjoyed their characters
Mhm.
a lot. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the three of us
Yeah.
made a really interesting trio.
Yeah.
Uh
Yes, we did.
I mean, like, again, was not expecting the resolutions to be as they were, but I mean, like, just for the personal aspects of it, like, how you sniped at each other, but yet still, even though you wouldn't admit it, you still cared. And it was like, will you people just admit to each other, please? And it's like, you wouldn't.
What the
No,
fuck?
never.
yeah,
No.
Ellie and
What the
Mordecai kind of did at the end.
Yeah.
Yes, at the
Yes.
end,
Kind of.
yes. But,
Yes.
oh my
Mordecai even
gosh.
But
admitted
even
he
then,
cared
Ellie
about
and Felix was just like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mordecai even admitted to Ellie that he cared about
Yeah.
Felix.
yes. Oh my gosh.
Ah,
Mm.
like we saw that Felix did care.
Mhm.
He's just never going to say it.
No.
yeah,
And
exactly.
I'm also
No.
like upset with
Mhm.
himself that it's like, why do I care about these mortals? It's like,
Mhm.
because you do,
Yeah.
buddy. You
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, so good.
Yeah.
Ah.
That was funny.
Oh, so good. You guys, just like, oh my
Yeah.
God, like love these
I'm
characters.
gonna miss this game.
Thank
Me
you.
Yeah.
too.
I'm gonna miss you as players and you as a GM. That
Yeah.
was and gonna miss the characters, but I think I miss the players more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, you guys do.
Oh man. And I'm going to miss doing this for a bit because I'm not gonna pick up the between for a bit.
You're gonna
Since
take a break?
I'm planning on taking a break from the between. I'm hoping for taking a break this year because writing this and then also trying to play test her has been a wild ride. I will say. I mean, like as you said. I mean, like it's been almost a year, and it probably would have been a year if like things hadn't panned out the way they did, because of like missing scheduling and all this kind of crap. But I mean, I think it's been a very successful year, and I've gotten some really great feedback from you guys, and we'll get some great information from the other group as well, and make this mastermind much better and like more her, like what I'm aiming for. And again, I'll throw the kitchen sink at her, and like I doubt anybody's gonna be able to use everything unless they have a really extended campaign and probably over multiple seasons. Honestly to God. And if they do, great. And if I do, great. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. But I think I'm gonna need a break from the between for a bit because there's other games that I want to play, other weirdness that I want to explore, and yeah. I mean, I'm excited to see what they do for the companion app and for the printed version because again, we'll be seeing the new rules as well as all of the new supplemental material that they have, like some of the stuff that was homebrew, like when we were originally playing, it's like will now be the published material for the
Nice.
books, but and then also like some other campaigns like the Court of Wolves and like for some other material that'll be held in other settings as well. That's supplemental. I think I don't know. I'm not even going to say because it's like I don't even remember what's included in the new books. So it's going to be exciting for everybody that's been backing the between. But yeah, I think I'm going to need to take a break. It's been like what, 6 campaigns now, six series that I've completed, and yeah, I've been enjoying it all, and I hope that all my players have had a great time with it, and I hope that people will watch it and enjoy it as well. I mean, even if you don't go back over it, it's like, I hope you find friends of yours that will enjoy watching the characters and enjoying their escapades, and then enjoying like their foibles and their drama, because I've been enjoying watching these characters grow and all their stuff. And I've greatly appreciated you all just bearing with me for all this as well. I mean, it's been a wonderful ride, and I could not have done it without you guys. I've enjoyed it all. God.
Thank you, Mads.
Oh, I did not cry before, but I'm gonna cry now. Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for running this, and thank you for using us to playtest this. This was amazing.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
I loved it, and I love playing with the two of you. I think I've played with Kathleen before, but not Mike. So it was a very good introduction. I genuinely hope I will see and play with all of you again. In very different roles, maybe.
Well, Sabine, we're going to be starting up the. You can check out anytime you like. Next week.
Right. Oh, goody.
So surreal horror. There you go. It's like,
I like surreal horror. I like that kind of horror. That's good, but still, I'm gonna miss these chaos gremlins.
Chaos gremlins will be definitely missed. I'm gonna be so sad.
I just loved Ellie being like the American. When I first read it, I was like, oh wow, this is a brute, and Ellie was anything but. No. She was not a brute. No. Even though she was good at hitting people, but that's not the way she operated.
No. Yeah. And just so much angst because of her past.
Yeah,
well,
I mean,
they all did, but I mean, like her definitely because, and then like the romance, which wasn't necessarily romance, but it was just like, oh honey, why?
Yep.
And I really like this idea that the undeniable is just a god. Just an ancient Greek god. That was just fine. I've played an undeniable before, but I played him more like the sex pest guy. It was just, yes, I'm here now. Adore me. That's my due. Come on. Yeah. He wasn't a god. He was just a guy. Just a pretty guy.
But I love the fact that, I mean, like, the god of opportunity. What a concept. Damn. Yeah. And then, like, you're not only pretty, but, like, you gave people stuff. And the fact that you're so, gods be damned, petty.
Yeah. Well, Greek god.
I mean, Greek god.
I know. But still, I mean, you built up to, I'm like, oh, you son of a,
I told you, I'd been, like, brewing on Felix for a hot minute. And, like, I'm glad that it worked out the way that it did.
I'm so glad it worked out. I mean, like, when you gave me the concept at first, I was just like, oh, really? I was a little bit disappointed because I was just like, there's some aspects of some of these playbooks that I'm like, are you guys really, like, utilizing them to their fullest? And it's like, who cares? You guys are great. You don't need to like that much. I mean, like, you guys just really like brought out all the bells and whistles.
I'm curious, at what point in all of this, Mike, did you decide that Felix was behind the whole original the Mastermind grievance in the first place? When did that come about?
Hold on. I could go back to like when I asked Matt, hey, I have an idea.
I mean, and I was like, when I read that, I was like, I was like literally like agog for about a minute. I was like, oh my.
Literally, like right right when I marked the mask because I realized there's no one that like Felix actively like loves. There was a part of me that was wondering if I could make it like a Greek god sort of thing where like I love my family. Let's talk about the fall of Olympus.
Mhm.
But that felt like very self-centered and it
And
didn't
removed.
really like yeah. But by tying it into like the threat into the mastermind, it was like, okay, what if the person that I loved was the mastermind? Um, and then going into the like how does that fit if like I act as though I don't remember? And then that got into the whole like Doctor Who-esque like, well, this is me, but it's not me regeneration sort of thing.
Right. But it did also fit because you'd always been extremely familiar in talking to
Yes.
her.
Yeah.
Mhm. And it was just
And
like,
and it could have been, just that's Felix.
that's
He
Felix.
formality is not his thing.
Mm-mm.
He's never going to treat anybody with that kind of, distance and respect.
Right.
But at the same time, it took on deeper resonances once we knew. But it fit together.
Yeah.
Makes
The
sense.
the beginning, like the beginning familiarity was this idea I had with Felix of just really liking like people who are not typically beautiful or like if they don't have a lot but they're content with it
Mm-hmm.
because he doesn't have anything that he needs to offer them because every opportunity that they've had they've either made for themselves or like they're resistant
Made the
to
most of
him.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and he like naturally likes that. Like with Lin Bohai, the sailor that doesn't have a lot but actively resists the temptation of don't you want more? He says, "No, not really." And it's like somebody who gets it. Finally, somebody who's not looking to me to solve all of their problems. And then like Mrs. Pemberton-Potts was like, "Yes, I'm a little old lady and I'm involved with things and I'm just trying to help." It's like, okay, somebody who gets it. Very nice.
But then when you look back at that and like with that particular lens, it's like, oh, but I mean, like, you must have been sore as shit when she didn't like take your gifts way back when,
And
man.
I liked the fact that you brought it back to the portrait of Dorian Gray and
Yeah.
making him Lord Henry because that
Yeah.
was the original inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
But I never thought of like making the literal connection of that is who he was.
Yeah. Because I figured, because since she didn't recognize him, I figured you had to have worn a different face, at that point. So, I mean, like, I was like, of course, like Sir Thomas would have recognized you as somebody completely different. There's no way that you would have
Yeah.
been Felix back then.
No.
No.
I'm
So
gonna miss
it just came out so good. I was like, oh
Yeah.
my
I
No.
love that you asked everybody, I think, what makes you beautiful, except I think Mrs. Pemberton-Potts and Mordecai.
I could have sworn that he asked Mordecai.
No,
I don't know.
he didn't.
I don't think so.
No, I waited for it, but it never came.
What would you have answered? What would Mordecai have answered?
I have no fucking idea. We didn't get all there.
I think
For Mordecai, beauty was not the
No.
metric that he worked by.
You probably looked at him like, what?
Yeah, maybe
I
he would
think
have
maybe that-
said exactly that. That is not a metric I work by.
it's
so
I think
funny.
the commonality is the
Uh-huh.
idea that every single time he asks, it's because of somebody who's like caught up in their own nonsense. Mordecai knows exactly who Mordecai is.
Yeah.
Mrs. Pemberton-Potts knows exactly who she
Yeah.
is.
Yes, that's why it's interesting. But it's
Yeah.
also it
I hadn't
fits.
caught that. Yeah.
Oh, that's really funny. I
That's
love that
nice.
shit.
I like
That's
that.
so
Yeah.
cool. Oh,
And I
man.
hadn't really identified. I mean, it's inherent in the playbook, but I hadn't really identified Ellie being. You can't tell me who I am. That I'm not going to be defined by somebody else. I hadn't identified how central that was to her until Felix asked.
Mm.
I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah,
American.
That's, yep. No, that's, and it did tie into her whole avoidance of difficult situations, because she felt like, okay, if you're trying to make me deal with my own nonsense, then you're boxing me in a corner. And nope, I'm gone. And
But then avoidance, and so it was a very bad, vicious circle.
That was her whole cycle.
Yeah.
Of create a situation, run away from it. And in the end, she both ran back towards something and ran away.
Yeah.
Because she left Lansing behind without much of any preamble.
Oh, God. I'm just torn.
And
I am just so torn. I don't even know how I even want to react, because that is just such a tangled situation. I'm just like, I don't know who I would even say. It's like, well, I don't know where she belongs, honestly. It's like, wild and free. Okay, go for it. I mean, like, what the hell?
Until they came back, she was leaning hard on, okay, I can have a life with Lansing, maybe, if I can have a life with anybody. And then that just brought all of her issues back boiling up again. Both in the very practical sense of, I have this curse, I am a danger, I am going to be a threat to anybody near me, but also in the, I had love, and here he's standing in front of me, and now he's dead on the floor. You know, hot mess.
I wanted so badly to be able to use Taketh Away on the American to steal the curse. Like one path I wanted to do was kill Lansing to trigger, kill Lansing, and then use that to destroy Ellie, like spiritually, effectively, and then use that to take something from the victim.
Oh my God, amazing.
But I don't think that worked. I don't think that works because it's side characters. So
yeah, well, yeah.
I could have done it on Nate though, which was the plan. The plan was to steal his curse when he died.
But I mean, I think that the events were just avalanching so fast and so hard. Yeah, we just lost it. I'm not even saying we lost the plot.
So well.
Yes, it did. It just really did, and it was just like I honestly didn't know what was going to happen until it happened, and I'm so sorry. Like if it devastated anybody terribly, but I mean, holy shit!
It devastated Ellie. It, as a player, oh God, I loved it. At the same time that it hurt. I mean,
I mean, honestly,
you know me well enough as a player to know that you can lean into that kind of stuff with me, and I'll eat it up with a spoon.
Right. But I mean, like, I honestly can say that I did not know what was going to happen until it happened.
The whole like auction house scene, I feel, was an echo of that first breakfast scene that we were talking about earlier.
Okay.
In that scene, we get an idea of these are what all these people are capable of. This is who they are. Yeah. In that auction house scene, we saw Mordecai being very direct and trying to resolve the situation, driven by the idea, I can solve everything. We have Ellie's conflict averseness and trying to resolve a situation, but not being able to fully engage with it. We have Felix's powerlessness and his drive to force people to do what he wants. If that breakfast was, this is everybody as they are, that auction house scene was, here are everyone's flaws all going off at once.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a very good scene.
That was so charged.
It was, and I hadn't looked at it in that way.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right that
right.
was, everybody's flaws on display. Yeah.
That was amazing. I mean, it was the only way that it could come out the way it did. I mean, I was even trying to, what's the word? I was even trying to delay the fall by
Mhm.
having Magla saying, like, tell Mordecai not to use turn and turn again, because it was just like, look, it's hanging by a thread. You fuck with this thread, it's just gonna fall the fuck apart. Don't do it. And it's like,
And
there was
Mordecai was, of course, I'm going to fuck with it. I'm just not going to fuck it up because I'm brilliant.
And at that right there, like the fact that the whole thing was predicated on Felix's, I'm a god, I can lie and deal with no consequences.
oh my god.
Like
Everybody was just like, denial, denial, denial.
and like it was a good tragic session, something that the Between
Yeah.
does very well.
Yes. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah. Everybody was mad.
I went
think,
into that
each other.
situation wondering if it was going to be an all-out fight where Ellie had to kill Nate.
Yeah.
I thought that was a possibility.
I
I
was
thought
so
that was
hyped for that. I was so excited for Werewolf Fight.
I mean, the adrenaline was pumping, and I was trying to stay calm, but every single time that I had to be Nate was just like, hype, like, oh Lord. It was very difficult to, like, be on different layers and different levels, because it was just like,
as a keeper trying to be, I'm running the game, and here's this NPC who's in this really heightened state for very good reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you could tell, like, if you heard my voice, like, especially like when I was like trying to tell you this is how it goes wrong when you had that exceptional dice fail. It's like, this is how bad it is, and like, he was basically saying, it's like, Nate's gonna go for you at this point, and this is how he sounds. It's like, that's how heightened it was. It's like, that's the separation that I have to juggle, like, when I'm doing this is my calm keeper, this is me,
I really liked how you played Nate, because I could feel the pain as well as the rage.
Yeah.
All the way through.
He is the one.
It was very clear that the rage came out of the pain.
Yeah.
It wasn't just I'm angry guy. It was, know.
There's one thing that I've
been driven beyond his limits.
There's one compliment that I've gotten that I've treasured and cherished, that people have felt that my NPCs are more real than they've seen, and it's like, I find that a very good compliment for me. I'm like, I want that to be happening. I mean, like, I want you to feel like they're not just cardboard cutouts that you're like, I'm reacting to you and I'm getting information from you. No. These are actual people. These are actual people that you're talking to and that you're dealing with. I mean, like, they have feelings too. They're not just people that you're, like, shunting about, like, in your life, and then, like, shunting just out there. Short, dealing with Felix, is feeling what he's feeling, for Lansing, and he's not lying, and it's like, he's, I mean, like, that sort of thing. I mean, like, it's real for them.
And I have to say, you have so many different NPCs, right? Because I have GMs where I can just, everybody NPC is going to be a bit snarky. And,
the snarky.
And your NPCs, you have Nora, who is kind of like, I made a mistake, and I'm a gardener, and I'm really trying to put my life back together and things. And then you have Nate, who's like, you fucked up my life, now I'm going to fuck up yours. And you have Lansing like, I just want for things to make sense. And
poor man. poor man.
Not gonna make sense.
But that's what I got from him. He just wanted for things to make sense.
In a different genre, he could have been an uncomplicated hero.
Yeah.
With an uncomplicated personal life.
Yeah.
And just gotten to help people and be the stand-up guy that he wanted to be. And unfortunately, he was stuck in this genre.
Yeah.
That poor guy wandered into the wrong genre.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, in a typically heroic RPG, hero, straightforward hero.
Yeah.
Classic paladin type, whatever. Doing the right thing for people for the right reasons.
Fell in love with a monster.
Fell in love with a monster.
I mean, that's
in
basically,
a tragic genre.
but that's what a paladin is about. I mean, you
Yep.
don't play a paladin if you don't want to go that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paladin has always to go and be a bit tragic. Otherwise, what's the point? What's the point of having principles when they're never challenged?
There is that.
I need to remember this because I've never played a paladin before, so I need to remember like how this guy is. Okay,
There are games I've played where like the facilitator focuses on trying to make the paladin fall, like make them break their principles, when really it's like what Sabine is talking about, where it's no matter how bad the situation is, they stick by their principles.
Yeah. I know Felix is trying real hard to get him to break, but I was like,
no,
fuck no, dude.
And every single time, like Felix hates the fact that people resist the offers. Me, love it. I love when a character like takes the hard way and like sticks to their own agency. Fleeting Touch, I think, triggered like maybe twice. Which is wild for a custom.
Ellie saving Lansing with it.
Yeah, and Mordecai asking for it. And then you used it, I think, twice on NPCs.
And like normally if you make a custom move, you spam it whenever you're able. Turn and turn again. Sure. Like was key.
So good.
Fantastic.
That was a fun move.
Yeah.
Great.
But Fleeting Touch was literally just it was what I was trying to figure out when I first pitched Felix to you. How can I be this like tempter archetype and also get that mechanically present?
Custom
move. That was an amazing move.
That was a fantastic move.
Yeah. Beautiful move, and I thought that was like so in keeping with.
I never came up with a custom move. That was the one advancement I didn't do because I just didn't have any good ideas. And I thought I'm not gonna do something that isn't, highly flavorful and character appropriate. I'm not going to do something just because this sounds like it would be mechanically useful.
Some people do custom moves, and some people just do custom moves, like just for the big spectacular final, like finale, like it's something that goes towards like whatever their like last move would necessarily be. Like I did mine towards like the child, like to make sure that the child would come out okay. When I did my mother, it's like and I remember like Ironar doing hers like when she played the American for our first game of the between, like towards like trying to make sure that the creature wasn't necessarily going to go straight cursed like right off the bat. Like there would be a point where there would be a very precarious balance of like, can they hold on to some of the humanity and some of their cognition, like for the very end, So
if I'd had an advancement at the very end yet to spend, I might have planned for the finale that way, but it just didn't. That it didn't fall down that way. But I mean,
you did wonderfully using what was effectively the bog standard American play.
Seriously, I mean, you didn't need it. You're fine. I mean, but oh my gosh, thank you again, all of you. I mean, if there's any other like final comments or like feedback or whatever, I mean, like this has just been a wonderful ride. I do appreciate your feedback on my Mastermind and on the season, because there's such great moments. I mean, like I wish this could have been a true retrospective, like going like episode by episode and going like, oh, that was funny, or like that was fun. It's like, what were you thinking when you were doing that, but
like having a comment track on the AP.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, and you meant this because why? Like that sort of thing. But I think everybody's mentioned like, some of the really, heartfelt or like really outstanding moments that really came across. And I really appreciate your observations, Mike, about like, some of the like the moments that seem to be kind of like echoed / like um, you know, tested, like in miniature, like, versus like as compared to the overall campaign, which like you just don't realize until you get that 2020 like hindsight view of it all, and that's one of the reasons why something like this is interesting to kind of do and like look back on as a whole, because I think if ever you take a look back at a long series, you're kind of like, wow, what are those moments that we did that just, you're either like, why did we do that, or that came out really well, didn't it? And I think for a lot of it, if not all of it, I mean, like, it was just an incredible season. What an incredible ride. It's not, it's like, I would never describe this as flat at all. It was like a constant, like, so
moments of tension, moments of release, just all the way through.
And my hope is that all of you feel like you've gotten a satisfying arc to your characters.
Yeah.
We've been here gushing about this game, how much we loved it. Now you're wondering if we did.
I just want to be sure everybody's happy, okay? I mean, part of it's not me. I mean, I just like kind of set you up and you guys knock the pins down. That's all I do.
Yes, and it was fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hope to play with you all again very, 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 very soon. But I know scheduling is always the bitch. I'll be playing with I'll be playing with Sabine again soon. Yeah, time zones. I'll be playing with Sabine again soon. But I mean, time zones.
Time zones are a bitch. Captain Time Zone is the nemesis, and scheduling. Scheduling, I think, is the nemesis of so many great games.
Yeah.
And also the fact that I can't play 24/7.
Yeah, me too. It's like jobs. Okay, yeah.
Sleep, jobs.
Sleep, jobs, breathing. Yeah. It's okay. It's all right.
I can both play and breathe, but eating, working.
Oh man, eating.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta do it.
So all right, guys. You have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and hopefully we will see each other again very, very soon. Happy gaming to you all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.